Hello and welcome to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. It's me, Sal.
Whoa. Who is this guy? We don't know who this is. Just
Sal.
kidding. Welcome to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Ryan, joined as always by my brother, Mito, and a special guest we have today, Moe Salamey, a.k.a. Sal, tried to take over our intro. He's new here. We're not going to let him do that just yet, but he is helping us out. Today, Jose is absent. He will be back next week, and we thought we'd bring on Sal as a special guest. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Man, the nerve on this guy. The nerve.
I'm not going to fill in Jose's shoes the way he would. I'm just going to do my best. That's all I can do.
That's all anyone can ask of you.
I was going to say, that's all we can ask for.
And honestly, it sounded like kind of a hype intro before I interrupted, so maybe I should have given it a couple more seconds.
I'm hyped. I got my two favorite people to argue with on one podcast. I can't wait. I'm going to have a good time today.
As are the fans, hopefully.
Before we jump into it, can I just say how Sal just earned probably like 800 brownie points by his setup?
What do you have to say about his setup?
The wedding picture. Like, that was perfectly calculated. Good job, Sal.
Let me tell you something. This photo was free with the wedding package. That car was like $1,300. I for damn sure am putting this photo up in my house. Without a doubt.
That is a great picture.
Thank you.
Very worth
Very
it.
good. Very happy for you guys.
Yes. And yeah, brownie points. I'm sure the wife's going to watch us on YouTube, and
She watches
Big
us
smile.
every week for sure.
definitely. Number one sports fan.
She'll be watching this episode. I promise you that.
Oh, for Sal? Easily.
Sal's going to like tie her down. Watch this.
So what's up first? I'm excited. What are we talking about?
Well, so here we go. So post Super Bowl, the NFL world is a bit slow. You could say the slowest of the year in terms of the NFL. They're a pretty well-functioning industry. They always have something going on. And there is some NFL stuff to talk about. But first, biggest news in the sports world right now, and I know this is a Lions Packers NFL podcast, but I really wanted to talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend and the four nations going on in hockey and how those two compare and contrast with each other, and ultimately how to fix All-Star weekends, because I think every sport struggles with this. All the four major sports in America struggle with Pro Bowls, All-Star games, what have you. And the NHL, I'm just speaking for myself, seemed to knock it out of the park this year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not really a hockey guy. I've watched this. I don't know if it's because it's only four teams, because it's America, what have you, but it's great. I caught yesterday's game, and a game that didn't matter, right? USA was playing, and their opponent was already eliminated. That game, they were skating hard, hitting hard. It was a great watch, even for something that didn't matter, which is what we see on the opposite side with the NBA All-Star Weekend, where that game doesn't matter, and they don't really play that hard.
So I'm not going to act like I know the format. So is it like double elimination, or how does this work?
Yeah, I believe so. And right now they have the finals going on Thursday. So if you have a chance to watch it, because when Canada played America the first time, I believe Canada was booing during the national anthem. And within the first 9 seconds, there were three fights. So that game's going to be great. America ended up winning that game with Canada's prime minister. What's his title?
We can call him that. I think it's a prime minister, yeah.
Macron.
This is really sad for the American education system.
You know who I'm talking about. He was in attendance.
Trudeau.
So it was great. Or Trudeau. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the France.
I thought he was stepping down. We won't get into that, but I thought he stepped down.
Politics aside.
Yeah. I thought he stepped down. Sorry.
Same. But it's a good game. It's a great watch. It's taking someone who doesn't watch NHL, and I'm watching it now, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great success for them versus the opposite, the NBA. I do watch NBA, watching it less like everybody else. But right now, who watched that also? Like, did you guys see it was like in the 3 hours, it was only 30 minutes of basketball play? Did you guys see that?
Yeah. The numbers around it. It was all ads. It was Kevin Hart. It was Mr. Beast. It was extremely awkward. I watched a good bit of it, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kind
Okay.
of just chilling on the couch on my phone with it in the background, and the Kevin Hart stuff. Like I'm a fan of Kevin Hart. I think he's funny, but it was like painful to watch. Like no reactions from
So,
the crowd. The players seemed annoyed. It was just weird.
do you guys think the Four Nations mean so much because of the salary differences? And let me explain.
No.
Like the top hockey earner makes like 4 or 5 million, maybe like 8 million a year. That's like the best player in NHL.
Yeah.
You got guys like, I don't know, I can name anyone, like Tristan Thompson probably making 6 million a year. Like,
Yeah,
I think
I
that
think
has a
wasn't it
lot
like
to do
Nas
with it.
Reed? Wasn't it like Nas Reed in the NBA who makes like 12 mil a year, which I
That's
believe is more than Connor McDavid in the
that's yeah.
NHL?
That's who I was thinking about is Connor McDavid. I think he makes
Yeah,
9 a year.
yeah, something like that. Which,
So
yeah,
I feel like that has something to do with it, you would assume, because I know they get paid for Four Nations. Even if they got paid 1 million, that's 1/9 of their salary. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
So it's
but let me just like my logic comes out with this, and it's like okay, but if you make more in the NBA, shouldn't you be playing harder?
no,
Like,
you care less because it's more risk of injury, more risk of anything.
what do you mean more risk of injury? They're already making more money.
I get it, but if you get hurt, you can cost yourself
That's correct.
30, 40 million as opposed to if you get hurt as a hockey player, you're costing yourself 3.
I
When it
mean,
comes to
but
the
that's still your
NBA,
livelihood.
NHL, a big part of probably why the games aren't competitive is contract concerns and injury concerns.
Yeah.
I think Mito has a point there. They're not playing in the NFL. They're not playing tackle football in the Pro Bowl anymore because nobody wants to get hurt for a game that means nothing. So in order for the NFL to get successful, I think the game has to mean something. Same thing with the NBA.
Yeah, but I can't let the NBA skate by in this because what's a more dangerous sport and which sport are you more likely to get hurt in?
Yeah, but
Hockey or
that's not
basketball?
that's not how they think, bro. Like the NBA players don't even play back to
You're
backs
right.
anymore.
You're
That's
right.
not how they think.
But therein lies the problem with the NBA, right? And now we're opening up a whole can of worms with why ratings are down in the NBA. But there's many reasons that go into it. But player availability and effort is a massive part of it that turns fans off every time.
Would you be down to make the NBA All-Star game have meaning or be worth something? For example, home court advantage in the finals or some sort
Yes.
of benefit. Would you be down for that?
Yes.
I mean,
The
I guess.
the only caveat I would have, let's say the two teams that make the finals, neither, which is very hard, obviously, because they're two of the best teams, or they are the two best teams. Let's say for some godforsaken reason, those two finals teams didn't have an all-star player. If they didn't, I would say wipe that out because neither of them earned the home court, if that makes sense. But it's very unlikely because each team usually has one representative. Usually.
Okay, but Sal, I'm going to answer your question with another question. Okay.
Yep.
Back in the 90s, let's say, like the golden age of basketball with Jordan dominating, whatever. The game didn't mean anything.
Isaiah Thomas, yeah, continue.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to Zeke. The game didn't mean anything back then either. It wasn't for home court advantage. It wasn't for more money. It wasn't for anything. It was just to
Different
play.
type of player.
But
You don't even have
exactly,
to go
right?
that far back. Go back to when Kobe was playing and the game was
Yeah,
meant something.
right. So,
Yeah,
like,
but they were
why
still
should we be throwing on stipulations to winning when we didn't need that before? Like, what's different nowadays with NBA players? I'm not understanding it.
When your kid doesn't do his homework, you got to take away his Xbox. If the guys aren't playing, now you need to add the stipulation at this point.
Yeah.
We didn't have this problem because it wasn't a problem before. Now we have a problem, so we have to deal with it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Adam Silver, not too many years ago, was being praised and greatest,
Mm-hmm.
commissioner and blah blah blah. And now everyone's like, he sucks, he stinks, he needs to get out, blah blah blah. So like, I mean, it's crazy how quick that turns. So
It is.
Okay,
But there's a reason for that.
okay, so the home court advantage, let's say that's going to be one of the most drastic moves. Okay? In
Yeah.
2026, how do you fix it? Wipe home court advantage out because that's going to be a discussion. It's probably going to be a discussion longer than a year. What do you do?
here's what I'm thinking: does the NBA care? Do they
Yes.
care about this All Star game?
They
Truly,
should.
Yes.
They should.
is your priority of things fixing the NBA regular season and postseason, and then All Star later? And right now they have two glaring problems besides the All Star game.
Wait,
That's what
so
I'm.
Wait, you think a problem is the postseason?
I think a problem is the regular season viewership, and the finals should be higher priority than the All-Star. And because the regular season isn't doing great and numbers are down, I think this All-Star game is going to get pushed to the back burner for some time.
Well, so to your point, stars have come out in the NBA and have spoken because they're hearing a lot of
Many.
criticism for it. Nikola Jokic, best player in basketball, said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said the All Star game is what it is. It's not going to change. There's no point in really working on it. Let's just move on to more important things, which I'm
Yeah.
guessing is your point, Sal. Of like, let's just
Right.
focus on the finals, playoffs, whatever.
This Jokic is a bad example because it's the same guy that wins a championship and doesn't smile. So
Literally,
he's
he's
probably
so
not the
lazy.
right guy to ask.
Yeah, and he's so good too. It's crazy.
Yeah, like he naturally doesn't care.
But I mean,
So-
but this is like the All Star game in the NBA for me is a microcosm of bigger issues. Like it does go into players not playing back to backs. It does go into load management, like all these things that is the opposite of what you see in hockey. And hockey used to have its own All Star problems too. Not even like a few years ago, the NHL All Star game was a joke with their speed competition and whatever the hell. I'm not going to
Hardest
pretend I'm the
slap
biggest
shot.
NHL. Yeah, whatever. But they seem to have turned that around. So how do you essentially what we're asking is how do you motivate these players in the
I
NBA to
got your
play
answer.
harder?
I
Yeah.
got your answer.
So your
If
answer
we
is
if we use the NHL, the four nations, if you can't play for extra money, if you can't play for home court advantage or home field advantage, what can you play for? You can play for your country. And this was, I don't know if it was Giannis or whoever it was, said make it America versus Europe or America versus the other country.
versus
And
the
why
world.
don't they do the same thing? America versus the world, correct.
Mhm.
Why don't they do the same thing? Because if
That
you
would
have
be lit.
America on your chest, you're playing for something and it doesn't cost the NBA anything. It's not changing anything, but it is an added incentive. And I don't necessarily see a downside other than if you can't fill up both teams evenly. But with where it's at right now, with Wemby, Jokic, Luka, you can fill them up pretty nicely.
Shea.
Yeah,
Bro,
correct.
that's the world might have a better team. And
They
like
I don't agree.
bro, the last 5 MVPs have not been American, right?
Doesn't
It's
matter.
been
Yeah, because the
Jokic,
last 5
it's been
MVPs
Giannis,
has been Jokic,
Embiid.
Jokic.
Well, Giannis, Embiid, you have them.
Well, Embiid.
We talked about
Embiid
SGA.
Embiid plays for America now, brother.
Oh, does he? Oh, that's right.
Yes.
He switched sides. What a dirtbag.
Well, that's
I
officially.
totally
mean,
forgot
for
about
this,
that.
he might just want to go with the other team. I think he might be able to.
Well,
pick.
let's be honest.
He'll
He's
go
not going to
whichever
play
side
it,
is
so-
easier.
Okay, well, real quickly, I don't want to spend too much time, but who would you guys put on Team America if you could fill up that roster? Who would you put top to bottom, 1 to 5?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
LeBron
Okay, I think
KD.
LeBron just for ratings and everything is a guarantee.
KD.
and
Okay,
KD,
I think KD before Ant. Okay,
Cade.
Kyrie. Who?
you get
Cade.
Oh,
Kate.
this guy's-
Cade would be a great starting point guard for that team, bro.
Listen, when he can finish top 6 in the 3-point shootout. Oh wait, I think he did. I think he did. You know, Cade might be on there. We might throw Cade on there actually. Why
Cade's
not?
good, bro. I don't know,
Anthony
man.
Davis.
Okay.
Oh yeah, well he's out for 6 weeks, so good luck with that.
Now, would you care who was coaching it? Would it matter who was coaching it? Would you want to see
Yeah,
like
you have to make it the Olympics coach.
like I was gonna say, would you want a good coach or would you want like the newest coach in the NBA to be it?
Well,
Because part,
usually,
part of the allure of these games is you get to see players that maybe you don't see too often, not in your
Yeah.
local geographic region. So if it is a new coach or a new player, and maybe there's something cool like that, right? You have to have a rookie on the team, both sides, something. Just to
can do
kind
be-
of draw
you can
people
do
in.
best records
What do you
for
mean by that?
coaching. Like the best team, the team that has the best record, that coach is the all-star coach. Obviously, if they're both Americans, you have a problem. There's not many foreign. Does the foreign coach have to be foreign? Because
Could be
there's not
foreign.
many.
There's not many. But you know what? If I'm the NBA and I'm a business and I want to expand to Europe and I want to expand to China, I wouldn't mind bringing someone in for one game, right? In one of those leagues to just kind of show what they can, to kind of
Yeah.
bridge that nexus and just kind of really go worldwide with it. If that makes sense.
No, that's fair. I like the idea.
I think we fixed the NBA, guys. I think that's a really good job, and we should get paid for our efforts.
I agree.
Off to a good start.
I agree.
But credit to
So-
the NHL, bro. That thing has been awesome so far as a
Good.
non-hockey fan.
No, it's definitely worth watching if you have some free time on Thursday.
Is it like 8 p.m. game or is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Something like
because
that.
I
Yeah,
know
that's-
one of the games on Monday was at like 1 p.m., but it was also President's Day, so
Yeah.
maybe that was why. But I know people that are going to be watching this are going to call me crazy, but yes, NFL MVP odds are out, and I want to talk about it. So
Ooh, okay.
I will. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to name a player. I'll give you his odds, just to kind of give you the barometer of the odds,
Okay.
and then I will name another. Is that the right word, Ryan? Since you're
I don't know.
always
I saw him
it
thinking
didn't
about
sound
that.
right. It didn't sound right, but keep going.
Okay. I'm going to give you a player. I'm going to give his odds so you have a feel for the odds of other players.
Better.
Good, Ryan?
Yep.
This guy's an English Nazi. Anyways, so I'll start with Justin Herbert. His
Okay.
odds are plus 2,200.
Wow. Not a strong favorite for the second best quarterback in the NFL,
Okay.
Here we go.
according to Mito. Not,
That
not
is
me.
Murad's boy.
Here we go.
Okay.
The worst odds on this list are plus 4,500. I'm
Okay.
not going to tell you who it is. And also on the flip side, the best odds are plus 550. I'm also not going to tell you who it is. If you guys want to knock those two out first, we can start there. Who do you think has the best odds?
Go ahead, Sal.
It's going to be Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, who the NFL loves. And why wouldn't the reigning MVP have the best odds for next year's MVP?
Agreed.
So he's tied.
Was Lamar?
There you go. That was easy. Good
Yeah.
job,
Okay.
Sal.
It makes sense that they were tied because they should have been co-MVPs at
I agree.
worst.
Correct.
So that makes sense.
Good
Now
job,
the
Sal.
worst odds is
Yeah.
gonna. I don't think you guys would get it right off the bat.
Because it's
But
not
Ryan-
a quarterback.
No, it
Uh-huh.
is.
See, Ryan, that's how you get information out of Mito without actually taking an official guess.
I'm gonna let Ryan go so he doesn't. So
That
Sal
was very
doesn't ruin
slick.
this entire list.
All right. Do I get hints or are we just
No.
guessing?
Just guess.
It's a quarterback plus 46. You said
45.
45. Hmm.
Young quarterback, not super young at the same time.
Okay.
Bro, is it good?
Because Kirk Cousins came across my mind.
no,
but
no.
You
No,
just
no.
eliminated
Murad's
that.
dropping hints, and
Kirk
he has a
Cousins is Kirk Cousins is old. He's like 35.
I know.
Murad's
you-
dropping
you
hints
give
and
me
he has a
additional
smile on his
information.
face. It's Jordan Love.
It's not. Don't be disrespectful.
Bro, he said that very bashfully, so I just wanted to.
I was thinking something like an Anthony Richardson, but he said not too young. I
No.
think he would be considered young.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
It's
it would
not.
have to be somebody that's, 28, 29, can't
To
be
make
can't
you
be
feel
Hooker on the
better.
Lions. He's,
To make you feel better, Anthony Richardson is not on the list.
Nor should he be right now. He might not be in the NFL after next year.
I don't think he's a terrible player, but
No, I don't either.
listen.
I like him.
Here's another hint. He did not play the full season last year.
Dude, I'm
Is
like
this
blanking.
Tua?
No.
He would have fit. Didn't play the season. About
Correct.
28-ish. Okay.
His coach is already a meme.
Okay,
So
Trevor
new
Lawrence.
coach.
There you go.
He is, bro. Okay.
Duval. Ryan, let me hear a Duval.
Duval.
Oh, that might be worse.
So,
That
yes,
looks better though.
Trevor Lawrence is plus 4,500. He's
Wow.
also tied with someone.
That was a tough one. Okay.
I mean, that might not be a terrible bet if he gets traded.
Yeah, it would be smart to do that now, I think.
Nice little hedge.
So while we're on the subject of him, a rumor came out a couple days ago that he could be going to the Steelers, but yesterday Lawrence put the kibosh on that and said, "I ain't going." So I don't think it's happening.
And Mr. English major, it's not kibosh, it's the kibosh.
I think it's kibosh.
No, it's kibosh.
My Seinfeld aficionados can help me out with that. I'm pretty sure it's kibosh.
It's not.
You tried correcting me last week too, you and Jose, and you were both dead wrong. I have the footage.
Okay.
All right, next.
I will. Okay. Since you wanted to mention Jordan Love, what are Jordan Love's odds?
Should we do like over under?
Nah, I'm gonna put it at 30 plus 3,000.
No.
Higher or lower? Ryan gets the next guess.
It's farther odds, so higher. It would be, I'm gonna say +4.
Incorrect. To answer your question, Sal, it's lower.
Okay, so we'll go 25 to 1 or 2,500.
Spot on. Good job, Sal.
Thank
Get
you.
out of here, bro. 25 to 1.
That's fair. Listen, when you get QBs across the league, anybody could win it. Matt Ryan won it that one year, and I think the books took a big hit, so they don't really give high odds. Like you might, like Ryan, for example, at that spot, would you take that bet, or would you feel like
No.
you feel
I
like it would
don't-
need to be higher?
I don't trust Jordan Love at all as if I'm betting on and I'm
Right.
like but I'm not just saying this to hate. Like Matt Ryan in comparison was a stat stuffer his entire career, right? Like he got numbers and Love has
Sure.
yet to do that.
That's not.
He just
true.
doesn't get the yards, bro. He doesn't. We talked about it. He doesn't get them. And who's he throwing to? Should we get in the wide receiver conversation?
We
You need
could.
a good
We have
wide
the best
receiver.
receiver-
Matt Ryan
we have
had
the best
Julio.
receiving core in football.
All right, bro. You see, don't start this offseason by saying let that be last year's.
Since Ryan wanted to talk about
gravestone.
my quarterback, what are Jared Goff's odds?
They're
Oh,
higher,
if
much higher.
much higher, absolutely.
Much higher than
Uh,
Love?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, like better. Like they're going to
Like,
be like
twice
10
as
to
good.
1.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like 1,200.
Would you guys like to know that you are both wrong?
There's no way
Nope.
Love's higher.
He is. Jared Goff is plus 2,800.
Oh my.
That's crazy because he got some votes in the MVP, didn't he? Some
Yes.
third or fourth place
He
votes.
He also
only-
lost. He also lost his offensive coordinator. That's a big
Yes,
deal.
I was gonna say that's the only reason Vegas could justify
you
doing
want-
that, but that's garbage.
Would you like to place a wager that Love has a better year than Goff?
I don't know what
Define
that means.
better.
You guys define it.
Let's make it easy. More passing yards.
No, that's a false stat because the Lions can
Oh,
have 6
here we
wins.
go. It's a false.
No,
I'm just trying to give something that we can, without a doubt, say better.
no, because if the Lions are going to go 6-11, which I'm predicting, he's going to have more passing yards.
Okay. Okay. Would you like passing touchdowns? Would you like completion percentage?
Did Moran just predict that we're going 6-11?
I sure did.
Wait, pause.
All right.
What?
I
All right,
sure
bro.
did.
Move on. I'm not even gonna address it. Move on.
I'll save that one for Jose. That's
For real.
that's-
For real.
It's too juicy for me.
Well, according to Ryan and Jose, they want to give up 19 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. So
I never said that at all. I was actually against Jose on that. But Jose only said 3 max, and he wasn't even okay with it. I got
Three's a
you, Jose.
lot. Three's
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It is. Moran's just out here spreading lies, bro. Keep going.
here's a fun one. Jaden Daniels.
Mhm. The NFL's baby.
Oh yeah. I'm
He's
gonna
formed.
say. Can I go
And-
first?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say plus 750.
No.
It's not terrible. See, his line could be anywhere. That plus 750 makes sense to me.
I'll give you a hint. His line is better than Jordan Love and obviously better than Jared Goff. I didn't have to say that second part, but I was already mid-sentence.
Well, thanks for giving Sal a hint,
He,
not me.
he should be at like plus 1100.
Pretty close. He's plus 1,000.
Okay. Which makes sense to me because you have your, Allen, you have your Lamar, you have your Mahomes, right? Those are always going to be the top 3-ish. Then you start picking who's hot.
Let's do Mahomes next, actually, because I feel like we could so go either way on him.
He's going to be third in my opinion. He should be like plus 650, 750.
This guy Sal's on fire, bro.
What was it?
It's
650 or
crazy
7?
because I don't gamble. I don't know how I even know all this
Oh.
stuff.
750.
I spent our free time playing Pinochle down at the YMCA.
Really
No,
good at
so-
spades.
So the Jaden Daniels one is literally Vegas being scared
Yes.
because
Also-
if they went off the CJ Stroud model, there was a heavy decline. The difference is CJ Stroud did this, and the Redskins have $80 million to spend in free agency,
Commanders.
or the Commanders. The Redskins. I'm not
You
calling the Commanders.
Hateful
Or
bastard.
let me correct it.
Why are you
The
so full of hate?
Let me correct
First
it.
the Nazi comment, now this.
I know.
Let-
What's up with this guy?
Let me correct it. Give me a chance to correct it. The
Go
Lions'
ahead.
father have 80 million in cap space.
Man, you even in the offseason, you're an asshole. Keep going.
So you think that what do you mean by they're scared that it's at plus 1,000 because
Because
they're worried it might hit?
correct. Because technically, based on his year and like the second year regression theory, which is
Okay.
proven kind of,
Mhm.
his odds should be a lot higher. But because the
yeah.
Redskins have so much money to spend,
Commanders.
they Lions' father. They have so much money to spend. Literally, that offense can look completely different. Like, bro, imagine they go get a second receiver next to Terry.
Terry.
Like, what if they go
Which they
get
could.
T. Higgins?
Mm-hmm.
I think
But-
they're going to get the defensive tackle from the Cowboys.
I think they're going to do a lot.
I've heard some rumors about it. He has some relation to, I think, the DC there now. So like, they're gonna, I think, focus a little bit more on defense. They did great with what they brought in, but those guys were a little bit older, right? They're not gonna go for it. And Bobby Wagner played lights out, but he's 35 now, I think, right, or something like that. So they got to bring some fresh bodies. And we saw what it did for the Eagles, right? They brought in their linebacker, and it made a world of a difference. So, like, the Commanders, they, yeah, I'm with you, Mito. They have a good shot. They should be a pretty competitive team. I think the minimum expectation is NFC Championship for that team, with obviously the fans going for a Super Bowl. But why not? Based on what you saw, why wouldn't you feel that way?
But the line's a good middle ground for Vegas. CJ Stroud did burn a lot of people this year. He was a famous preseason MVP bet. So it's kind of like a middle ground between Vegas could get burned, but also it'd be really easy for the bettors to get burned too. So
Mito, what would be your favorite bet? Can we go through the list real quickly? Just kind of
Yeah.
good
I'll run
question,
through it.
Sal. This guy's a natural. Look at him.
I'm going to run through it. So we did it. Lamar Josh, plus 550.
Yep.
Mahomes Burrow, plus 750.
Okay.
Daniels, plus 1,000. Hurts, 1,600. Herbert, 2,200.
Still hating on the Super Bowl MVP. Disrespect
For real.
never stops.
I know.
Never goes to sleep. Continue.
Stroud, Murray, and Love, 2,500.
Murray. Wow.
Bro, he's always up there and he does not deserve to be.
Caleb, Baker, and Jared Goff, 2,800.
That's crazy that Caleb and Goff are
funny.
tied. That's such a travesty.
3,500 is Prescott, Purdy, and Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix. Let's go.
Plus 4,000. Tua turned the ball over. Saquon
Okay.
and Matt Stafford.
Bro, Saquon being below Caleb Williams, and I
Bro,
get that he's a
running
running back.
backs don't
I
win the
don't care,
MVP.
bro. I don't care. It's not okay to me.
And
He's
to round
such
it
a
out,
better
it's May
football
and Lawrence,
player.
by the way.
What is it?
To round it out, it's May and Lawrence at 4,500.
Wow, Drake May made an appearance. All right.
So I thought it was interesting that Caleb and Golf are the same odds, right?
Mm.
It's basically saying it's not the QB, it's the system at that
right.
point.
Well, the thing, okay, so let's backtrack a little. I'm going to give Jared Goff his love. Caleb Williams has to do less to win an MVP than Goff does, if that makes sense. If the Bears go 11-6, he can win an MVP. If the Lions go 11-6, Jared Goff has no chance.
Can I say there's nothing Goff can do to win an MVP? We
No,
just
there
went
is.
15-2. He had an incredible statistic year. Like, bro, I've said this, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Till I'm Honolulu blue in the face, that is. If Goff's name was Mahomes this year, he wins MVP.
It's not true.
Tell me it's not true.
He didn't have a better year than Lamar or Josh.
Moran, we won 15 games.
Don't care.
If Mahomes did that, just kind of put yourself, and this is my tinfoil hat going off again, right? I will never, like, back down on that. Like, it's a popularity contest at the end of the day. People have made up their mind about Jared Goff. There's nothing he can do in my eyes to win MVP.
Ryan,
And I
the
don't
reason-
care. Like, it
Ryan,
doesn't bother me. I'm just saying.
Right. The reason is because Jared Goff had a 5-interception game, and you guys still won the game.
It does
So
not
voters
matter.
looked at it and said,
Does not
the
matter.
Lions probably won 11 games with anyone at quarterback.
I can find a bad game from Josh Allen. I can find a bad game from Lamar.
Not
It
that
does
bad.
not matter.
Not that bad.
Okay.
So one of the,
without the Houston game, he wins MVP?
He could have, yeah.
one of the
Game's never going
things
to,
that
though.
they talk about is game performance and things that happen in the game. You saw many times Josh Allen would run for a first down, would run for a touchdown, extend plays. Goff has excellent stats. I don't think his stats are the problem. I think it's that when viewers watch him, he doesn't look amazing or do anything amazing, right?
He does
He's
to me.
throwing accurate passes. He's dropping back his 7-step drop back, 5-step drop back. He's hitting his slot merchant in the middle, and that's it, right? So you can look at the record, you can look at the stats, but if you're not fun to watch, right? I always kind of compare the MVP with like college football a little bit. They kind of want some sort of individualistic sort of performance. And golf is
Highlights.
going to have anything individual. It was very much a team effort.
Right. Ryan, can you honestly say if Josh Allen has those kind of weapons on the Lions, he doesn't have a better year than Goff?
Bro, listen to me. I'm not taking anything away from Josh Allen or Lamar. I think I agree that they should have. No, I'm getting to it though.
Okay.
Like, I think Goff's play style, and I'll agree with Sal on this. It's boring, right? Like, it's not flashy. It's not sexy. It's not gonna make the ESPN top 10 or whatever. But he makes the throws, bro. And he threw dimes this year. Like, there are plays that are sexy to me, but
Yeah.
I'm also looking at it from my lens, right?
Yeah, because we've never
not
had
the
a
same-
sexy quarterback, if we're being real.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
There's a reason Lamar has those 2 MVPs, right?
Stafford was pretty
he was
sexy.
very fun to watch.
Yeah, Stafford was sexy, and Stafford had the numbers too on certain years, but he didn't win games. So it was like the opposite problem. It's like it just didn't matter. But whatever. I think that it just comes down to, like Sal said, like, can you make those highlight reels? Can you win enough games, and can you put up enough numbers?
And you know where this is perfect? When you looked at Offensive Rookie of the Year and you compare Jaden to Bo Nix, and those numbers were so similar. Bo Nix was kind of like the golf, right? Not super electric or fun, even though he's more than golf. But Jaden Daniels was more the Lamar or Josh Allen. He was more fun to watch. So even though the numbers were close, that played a factor, and they leaned Jaden Daniels, I think.
So
to
going
your
back
point,
to the
yeah.
original question,
Golf will never win MVP. No, he's
he'll
not.
never do it. No, I'm
not
convinced. But who's your guys' favorite bets? Real quick.
You're the guest.
I would take Jaden Daniels. I don't like betting the favorite because that's kind of boring. And especially when it's usually going to be Lamar or Josh Allen. You kind of want something else to watch for. And I think he was exciting enough. I think with whoever they're going to add on defense and maybe a receiver, I think his numbers will be very similar to the Josh Allen and the Lamar, that he can definitely make his case. And, I think the odds are favorable.
What about you, Mito?
It's worth it for me.
I think Mahomes losing the Super Bowl, he's just going to come out like guns blazing.
Okay.
And plus 750, why not? Is that going to be my bet? Absolutely not. I will be putting money on Jordan.
$500 on Packers Super Bowl.
Oh, every year. I'm going to do it every year.
Was there ever a cash out option on that bet? You never told us.
Yeah, it got up to
340?
no. It got up to what was it? Cash out like 750.
Okay.
So like 250 plus 250.
Okay.
Was this during the playoffs or right before? Do you remember the
No,
time?
it was when we went on that win streak. Like
Okay.
right before we played the Lions.
Okay.
And we shattered your hopes and dreams.
I mean, we both won the same amount of playoff games, so
All right.
And
My
I
favorite
just
bet- Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, if you put stats aside for the MVP, is any player in the NFL more valuable than Mahomes? If you're not looking at stats as far as
yes.
what he
Josh
means
Allen.
to the team,
I think the Bills win 4 games without Josh Allen.
how many do the let's do this.
I don't know more.
Josh Allen gets traded for Mahomes. Shout out to Luca. If that happens, which team has the better record? Mahomes on the
Chiefs.
Bills or Josh Allen on the Chiefs?
No, I think sitting here today, Josh Allen's just a better
No, I
quarterback.
think it's I don't agree with that.
Oh, that's big.
I think
100%.
no.
Oh, that's
I think,
a big
I'm
percentage.
no hesitation whatsoever. Bro,
No,
Mahomes has not been himself for 3 years. He hasn't.
man, Ryan bothers me. bro.
We talked about this last week, Mito. I read
And
the
he-
stats for
Imagine
you.
not being yourself for 3 years and winning 2 Super Bowls. God, that
Well,
must be nice.
Yeah.
I wish me not being myself would be that successful.
The
Bro,
simple-
everyone forgets about the Chiefs defense. Like they're
the-
not
the-
helping Mahomes. Like he's just carrying them to
the
rings.
simple, logical answer is Josh Allen on the Chiefs would be better because Andy Reid doesn't support the Taliban like the Bills coach. That's simple.
This is a
I'm
weirdly
keeping track.
political.
That's the
This is a
third
really
racist
political
tally.
episode of Honolulu Chiefs.
No, but for real, that's why the Chiefs have a better record because they have Andy Reid. Those quarterbacks are interchangeable. Andy Reid is not.
Okay. That's a respectable
That's fair. Yeah.
answer with the same result as Ryan, but I respect that answer more.
No, but Ryan's making it sound like.
I mean, why do you
Josh
respect that
Allen.
answer more? Josh Allen just won the MVP on the Bills. Like, what? He had a better year than Mahomes objectively on a worse team.
That wasn't what you said. You didn't ask me to have a better year. You said he is 100% a better quarterback
Right now,
than
yes.
Mahomes.
So
he
how
was.
come-
He
so
is
how come
right now,
Mahomes-
today.
Chat, how do we feel about that?
Yeah, L's in the
Ryan
chat.
dumb.
Mahomes beat him.
Ryan's stupid. That's retarded. No, we can't say that word.
Okay. Cut that.
Cut that. Chop that.
Anyway. No, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say for a guy who just won MVP. But my favorite, for the record, would be Joe Burrow.
Yeah, for a guy that
That's
for a guy that
For a guy that loves what?
It cut off there.
I was saying you.
You're
Yeah,
on
no,
mute.
I was saying
Oh,
that
there.
you think Josh Allen is better than Mahomes, and Mahomes literally fathers him every year.
He was better this year, Moran.
In the playoffs,
He
got
won
fathered.
the MVP.
Don't care.
Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, he barely lost in the playoffs. Big deal to a better team.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think Burrow can win if Jamar Chase gets the Triple Crown again. But on top of that, if he also rushes for 2,000 yards, then I think Burrow has a chance.
No, it's weird because we were just talking about Goff like not being sexy. Like
Yeah.
Burrow and Goff's play styles aren't that much different.
They're not.
really.
Stop.
But
They're not.
Stop.
They're not. He's a pocket passer. He doesn't.
When you're looking
He
at it
doesn't
from the
run the
lens of
ball.
sexiness, they're not
Right.
terribly.
Like what do we? He doesn't
far off.
scramble all the time, right? But Burrow has, like, I don't know, bro. There's something about Burrow that just wows people, and they should like he's a great quarterback. He just makes really great throws, but he's just like a better version of Goff, you know?
When it comes down to it, he's just a little bit more shisty. That's all it is.
There you go. That's a good way of
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a younger version. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got franchise tags coming up, and we have some rumors of who's going to get tagged and who's not. And we're going to just run through these and each kind of just quickly state if we agree or disagree and if that team should do that.
Stick with the Bengals while we're on the topic. T.
Yeah.
Higgins.
There you go.
Mito, what do you think?
Oh, can I just say something real quick?
Oh,
Mito
yeah.
is dying for T. Higgins on his team. He wants
Scratching.
it
No, I'm
so
No, I'm not.
bad. He's like, yeah,
No, I'm
you
not.
got any more of that T. Higgins?
No, I don't.
Anyway,
Nope.
let's keep going.
I will. I will
If
show you
the
I
Packers
will
get
show
T.
you the
Higgins,
chat
will you be happy or will you be sad?
Let me explain. If we trade for T. Higgins, I'll be very upset. Okay?
Third
If
round
we
pick,
sign
you're
T.
upset.
Higgins, huh?
Third round pick, you're upset.
No, if he's tagged, it's minimum 2 firsts.
Oh, is it? Oh boy.
Oh, you meant if he's
Yeah.
okay, if he's tagged first. Okay.
Okay.
He's going to be tagged 100%.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think they were.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
So yes, if he gets tagged and we trade 2 firsts, I'm going to be very upset. And the reason for it is he's missed as many games as Watson the last 3 years. So
Fair.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Anyways,
Okay.
so his tag is going to be 26 million. I think we can all agree that he deserves that. It would be absolutely asinine if the Bengals don't do it.
So if you're wearing the hat of Bengals GM, you're tagging him 100%. Are you working towards a long-term contract? What would that
Yes.
look like? Would you put him on a 5-year deal, 26
Yeah.
per, 30 per?
Yeah, 5 years, 150.
Do you think it's wise to have him and Jamar on massive contracts?
I don't, because I don't think you need to have high-paying receivers to win a Super Bowl. But they're already here.
And that's why I think it all depends on how this year goes. So I'll agree with the tag. I'll agree with the tag regardless. but I will not agree with an extension if you don't win anything this year. Like, this is kind of the Bengals' year, right? Like, it's their make or break year for their coach. They missed the playoffs
So
2 years in a row, and they should not have. And let's say they win the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, extend him. Do whatever you want. It's the Bengals' first Super Bowl. Go crazy.
okay, so
But if they
the
flame out
only-
again
the
or
only
miss
way
the
they
playoffs,
extend-
is if they win. Yeah.
go ahead.
Otherwise, how can you
They
justify
have to
spending
win
that
the
money?
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Bro, you
You
can't
guys
pay
didn't
him
win the
and,
Super
and
Bowl, and you extended St. Brown.
that was
He's the number one, though.
before, and
He's not a number 2.
Yeah, and St. Brown doesn't miss games, as far as I remember. No, so, and he's
That's
better
fair.
than T.
Okay.
Higgins. So
I wasn't trying to be
that's
smart. I was just asking a question. I don't agree with that, but okay.
oh my
at
God.
all.
All right. So yeah,
I
I wouldn't pay him and Jamar. But franchise
That's
tag,
fair.
sure, a year, you might as well.
Okay.
What I think is going to happen is they're going to tag him. He's not going to play on the tag, and it can turn into a Chris Jones situation where he sits out the first couple games. They have a bad start to the season. They see that they need him, or vice versa. They come out, score 40 each game, and are like, "Hey, we don't need this guy. Let's trade him."
Well, let me tell you something. He's not Chris Jones, respectfully. He's not the top player at his position. He doesn't affect the entire side the way Chris Jones does. It'd be so much different if Jamar wasn't there. And the problem I have is that if you watch these games, when T and Jamar are playing, T does very well. He sometimes outshines Jamar, right? Versus when he's out, that's when you see Jamar have his 45-point fantasy games in X, Y, and Z. And I get that same sort of AB and Juju sort of feel where everybody thought Juju was great because he was in that number 2 spot and he would sometimes outshine AB. But once he was by himself, it wasn't so much. And I'm not saying T is that. T is much better than Juju ever was. But spending that sort of money, I don't see the benefit because I feel like getting T on the team is just reducing Jamar's value.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I knew that was coming, so I was looking it up as you were typing. If I give you T. Higgins stats without Jamar, can I get your opinion again?
Are you talking like total games or like this past year?
No, I want his career without Jamar.
His career without Jamar. I would say he averages somewhere between right around 14 yards per catch. I would put him at 11-ish touchdowns.
No.
How many total games was it? Does it tell
5.
you? Oh,
5.
okay. Well, I don't know. Was that few?
So he's averaging 103 yards a game without Jamar,
Okay.
and he has 3 touchdowns in 5 games.
How many yards per catch does it show?
Yeah, his average is 16.5.
A good number.
So
You want to be north
do you
of 14
think-
to be a wide receiver one.
So do you think if you extend that over a year, that he's wide receiver 1?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the issue?
The issue is you have it. It's like buying a new car after you bought a new car. You have Jamar Chase. Spend your money
maybe
somewhere
he
else.
helps Jamar more than Jamar helps him.
I think those guys run independent.
Well,
They
But
run
if you
independent.
I'm not a fan of overpaying receivers. I'm not. I get where you're coming from.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, what do you do here? You don't have, like, can we even name their number 3 receiver?
Andre Lasova or whatever his last name
Sure.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, like,
he's good. He showed that he could be a number 2.
you want to go.
They like him.
But guys,
He-
you can't look at it in a vacuum though. Look at the Bengals in context, right? The Bengals have won 9 games back-to-back years and missed the playoffs. Okay,
Correct.
you should not be hovering around 500 with 2 all-star stud paid receivers. That money could be used wisely to boost up other parts of your team and get better. Like the Bengals did well in finding Chase Brown. I think he's a good player, a running back
Yeah.
they can rely on for a while. They need to beef
Okay,
that defense up and help Trey Hendrickson out and
He's
actually
not-
be a team that can restrict teams and allow under 30 points.
Trey Hendrickson's not going to be on the Bengals next year.
Okay, even
That's
more reason not to pay T then.
Okay, but if the roles were reversed and Jamar Chase is a free agent, are you saying the same thing?
No, Jamar Chase is otherworldly, and you can't let him go. He's a Bengal for
Okay.
life, if you ask me.
Okay, but can't you say the same thing? We pay Jamar Chase.
Okay, but you
ungodly
can't have
money.
your cake and eat it too, Mito. Like, you can't pay both guys. So either
Yes, but your logic is you don't pay them because we're not making the playoffs anyways, correct?
right.
So can't you use that logic with Chase?
Yes, but
That's what I'm
Chase is
asking.
better. So
Well, it
if you
doesn't
pick
matter. You
one,
miss
you
the
keep
playoffs anyways.
No, you have to pick one though. You have to have one. You can't have zero.
Okay.
So you got to
Alright.
keep Chase and let T walk. I love, bro. I'm a T Higgins fanboy. I love that guy. You'll never hear me say a bad word about him. He needs to go. If you're winning 9 games, he's got to go.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. I'm not a
Oh,
real
okay.
big fan of bringing back T. Higgins and Jamar and just running the same team back
Right.
and seeing what happens. If they're not improving, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. So part of the argument, part of the debate is, are we bringing back the same core of players? Are we going to get the same result?
But
That has to
but
run
they
through their mind.
but they had the number one offense in football. That's not the reason they lost games.
No, they didn't. We did.
Mito, right now, would you rather have Jamar and T, or would you rather have T and Miles Garrett and have no Jamar?
Is it T and Miles Garrett and the rest of the same Bengals defense?
Everything's the same.
No,
With
I wouldn't.
Trey.
I rather have Jamar and T because it's going to be the same thing.
Is there a player on defense that you would rather have and trade for Jamar straight up?
For Jamar,
Yeah, in theory.
no.
So
Of course
there's
there is, bro.
Bro, the problem with the Bengals is you need multiple pieces. So them getting rid of T. Higgins and just going to get a Miles Garrett, it doesn't fix anything.
Moran, for a guy who shits on wide receivers all the time, you're putting a lot of stake into wide receivers. I'm taking a number of defensive ends over
You're
Jamar
not
Chase.
understanding what I'm saying.
Yes, I am. I'm
No,
telling you
because
how valuable a defensive end is compared to wide receiver. A guy who can disrupt every
defensive-
play.
a defensive end is very valuable if you build around it. If you just bring that defensive end with nothing there, it's going to be okay. The Bengals are going to go from 32nd to maybe 28th. Cool. There's a lot of things they have to do.
I think you're
Now, if
getting
you're-
much more mileage out of a player
Now-
like that than T. Higgins, who
if
also,
you're
like you
telling
said,
me-
misses games.
Correct. But if you're telling me
Or Jamar even.
we don't re-sign T. Higgins and we go get Myles Garrett and Asante Samuel Jr., let's do it.
Yeah, I think if you're not trading T. Higgins for Miles Garrett straight up, you're a whack job. Like,
if you look at the Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl with Super Bowl winning MVP Jalen Hurts, the receivers, right? AJ Brown scored a touchdown, Devontae scored a touchdown, but like, were they the reason they won? No, they weren't. It was that defense.
Sal, that's a bad example though, because
How
that's
so?
like AJ Brown and Devontae are part of the reason they got there, as is Saquon.
No,
Like, I
this
don't
year
love that
they weren't.
example.
I don't think they were the main reason the Eagles were so successful. And I gotta say,
I agree
Saquon,
with
yes,
Sal.
yeah, it was Saquon
I
and
agree
Hurts
with
in the push. That was the whole.
You think the guy who got 2,000 rushing yards isn't one of the reasons they got there?
I'm saying he and Jalen are more the reason than AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are.
Agreed.
Well, yeah, they
The point I'm trying to make is receivers maybe aren't that valuable. Why are you getting 2 number 1 receivers when you already have one unworldly receiver? Focus that money somewhere else. That's all I'm saying.
I agree, because I don't want these guys to jump on me in the chat. You don't need 2 number 1 receivers. I agree with you,
You need 4.
1,000. I agree with you 1,000%. But I'm not saying let's not re-sign T. Higgins to go get one defensive piece. It's not going to change their overall perspective of next year. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Let's
all I'm
flip it.
saying is
Yeah,
that the
go ahead.
Bengals missed the playoffs because they had the worst defense in football.
It was
Correct.
there.
Go
And the
get
and
defense. Don't
correct,
put
and
your
the-
money into the best number 2 receiver in the league.
Correct. But you asked me straight up T. Higgins for Myles Garrett. And I said no, unless it's
crazy.
guaranteed that something else happens.
All right.
That's all I'm
Another
saying.
franchise tag candidate, Eagles linebacker Zach Bond. Correct.
You have to.
It's a do you though?
Kinda.
N-
I mean, look what the guy did for you this
no.
year.
He was great, but what an amazing defense. So many
yeah,
parts, so
I'm
many
gonna-
players. Are you if you don't sign him, aren't you just taking a drop
And-
out of the bucket?
But let
at
me
that
ask a
point?
question. Who
Yeah.
was the player on this amazing defense who was in the Defensive Player of the Year voting? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Jalen Carter. It wasn't Cooper DeJean. It was Zach Bond. Zach Bond was the best
Okay.
player on that defense this year. Hell yeah, you pay him. He earned it.
Okay, but Zach Bond also had, was it, I think 3 or 4 very bad years with New Orleans. He was literally a special teams player. So to Sal's point, Sal's basically saying you can plug, I don't know if he's saying it the exact way, but based on what the Eagles did, you can go hand pick a linebacker and they turn into a Zach Bond.
Yeah.
Can they do that again? Why
Bro,
can't
you
they?
guys act like that happens every year. Like that's some easy thing to do. Like that, those guys don't grow on trees,
No,
bro.
it's
And that's not an easy
it's
thing
not,
to
but
transfer a
it's
linebacker
not,
to an
but
amazing.
but the Eagles did it.
But let's be honest. There aren't many great linebackers in the NFL right now, and I think he wouldn't be as successful. I don't think he's an All-Pro somewhere else. A big part of why he's so successful is the front four is crazy on that team, and it's a lot easier to be a linebacker when that trench is protected well.
You know something, Sal? A lot of what you're saying reminds me of a certain quarterback who you put him on a different team. Is he that successful? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But he's just got the right coordinator. He's got the right weapons around him. Why are
Oh.
we going to remove?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
That's right.
No, I'm kidding.
And obviously, it's a different position. And it's way more important than linebacker, okay? But my point is that you have a player who had a great year in your great system. You won a great trophy. It's hanging on a great chimney somewhere. Like, keep it going. Like, why change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I don't get
Listen.
the discussion here.
The Eagles were rumored
let me-
to be one of the top teams for Myles Garrett, right? And they have a crazy D line already.
Yeah.
Is this a mistake, kind of going for him when you already have studs? Is that something that the Eagles are just you're getting too greedy? It's not worth it for you.
No, I don't think so.
At the expense of Vaughn, I'm saying. Let's say we choose Myles Garrett over him.
Oh, in that case, yeah. Bye, Zach. I
Okay,
mean,
but
bro.
this is the thing. Just want to make a point. Ryan, you think the Chiefs' defense is great, right?
It is, yeah.
Name me their linebackers.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
You don't-
does
Think
Carl Loftus
DiCaprio.
count?
You
Think
don't,
DiCaprio,
you don't have to go any further. That's just the point that I'm making. That's exactly my point.
Leo
Yeah,
Chanel.
but we can't discount linebackers that much because I don't know
Nick
Kansas
Bolton.
City linebackers. Like,
They're good. That's unfortunate. I don't know what point you were trying to make, Mito, but they're very good.
I mean, most
I'm-
great defenses have
try-
great linebackers. Am I missing something?
Correct.
I'm trying to make the point that they're not like they're good. Yes. Are they godly? Are they all pros? No.
Moran, who's the best player on the
They're not
Packers
far
defense
from it.
right now?
Huh?
Who's the best player on the
What?
Packers defense?
Edrin Cooper.
There you go. What position does he play for the
Yeah,
listeners
but
out there?
he's a freak of nature though. It's different.
Oh, but he's a freak of nature. Oh, okay, I got it. Like, would you give him up
Yeah,
that
he could
easily?
be
No, you wouldn't because he's a great player.
could,
And
he could be Ray Lewis.
okay, well, he's not. So let's just move on from that, and we might cut
And-
that from
and
the
if-
recording altogether.
That's fine. Just being honest.
Man, how
you
how,
should
how the
probably call-
turntables?
Mito, you should probably call Geico tomorrow and just ask for some insurance because when he ends up having a sophomore slump, like you just mentioned 10 minutes ago about people having sophomore slumps, they're going to say, hey, it's a sophomore slump. That's okay. I don't think he's Ray Lewis. He's good.
I said he could be.
Yeah, he won't.
Oh. If he
You
shoots somebody in the head, what are we talking here?
Yeah.
Becomes a murderer and gets away with it? How
If
can
he
be Ray
goes
Lewis?
antlers on his head,
If he gives motivational speeches, he does
Yeah.
the little dance before the tunnel run out.
Right.
Edrin
How could he
Cooper
be Ray
will
Lewis?
Edrin Cooper will be all pro within 3 years.
I think that's fair. I'm not gonna say that's crazy to think of, considering some free agent linebacker got thrown on the Eagles and became all pro. It's possible.
do we have any other franchise tags before I make the perfect segue?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. You ruined my segue.
It was a clear no answer, Mito, but let's hear it.
Rhetorical.
No, Ryan, please tell us the second.
All right. Well, in recent news, speaking of the Packers defense, Jamel Lett joins the Packers defensive staff. Mito, would you like to address?
I mean,
Mito, if you had to rank that segue or grade it from 1 to 10, what would you grade that segue?
It was the Edrin Cooper of segues, the Ray Lewis.
I wish Ryan would have let that go.
Okay, let me over.
That was a 4 out of 10 segue in my opinion.
All right. Well,
No, so
it's
But who is that, Mito? I don't know who that is. Can you share for me and the
he was a
listeners?
special assistant for North Carolina. I'm not gonna act like I know a bunch about him, but he's got a cool name. We'll see what happens.
So do you know his
well,
what
this guy
his role
Mito
is going to
made us
be?
put it on the script for that.
Yeah, he's gonna be a special like defensive backs assistant or something.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, so he's the guy that says, "Yo, Edge, Ray Lewis, you want yellow Gatorade or red Gatorade?" He wants red. That's his role.
Yeah, that's his
Okay.
role.
Cool.
Defensive backs quality control coach to be exact.
Oh, the quality control. That literally sounds like a Gatorade getter to me.
That's fine.
Okay.
I just wanted to put it on the script, bro, because it's a defensive coach and he's
Yeah.
gonna impress.
It's Packers
And
related. It's a Packers
our defense is top 5, so why not? We brought
On
someone in new.
paper.
It's
No.
not top five
on
anywhere.
paper.
It was top 5 in the league.
It was top 5 on paper,
Okay.
not in actuality.
It didn't look like it, but
Who brought this
anyways.
guy?
In other news, as for the Lions, Mike Martin, director of scouting, is the new GM at Notre Dame for their football team. So,
Is he the one that scouted Broderick Martin?
oh, you're gonna pick the one questionable draft pick we've had in 3 years? Wow,
Or
so
or
brave.
Is it Rankstraw?
Okay, hey, don't cut yourself on that edge, Mato. It's I can name.
He's probably the guy
I
that
can
said,
name
"We
5
don't need
players."
Jalen Carter.
right.
We need good character on this
Yeah.
team."
I mean, he could have been like the guy who convinced to trade up for Gibbs, or who knows, that terrible pick we made. But yeah, I mean, a guy
Good
who
for-
worked in the
good for
shadows
Notre
for
Dame.
sure.
Good
Yeah,
for
I
Notre
mean,
Dame.
that is good for Notre Dame. That's a good pickup, and all our best guys are just getting plucked.
Hey,
This sucks.
isn't it crazy to think, like 5 years ago, if you would have said someone is the GM of a college team, like how weird that sounds, and now we're just like, oh, cool, yeah, it's
Oh,
normal.
that's not where I thought you were going at
Yeah,
all.
I thought you were gonna say, "Isn't it weird 5 years ago if you thought the NFL was stealing Lions players and coordinators?"
Legit.
Like, that'd be the last melting pot to
Oh
go
well,
to.
yeah, that's
Right. Considering our last GM is what is he now? Is Bob Quinn working for the Patriots, getting Bill Belichick's coffee somewhere? What's he doing?
no, I don't think he's in the league at all.
He's got to be in the league
He's
somewhere.
he's gonna be trading 2 firsts for T Higgins very shortly. Is probably what he'll do. Is he with the Patriots right now? I didn't think
No.
that was where he was.
Let me find out.
Well, while you're doing that, let's just spend a couple minutes closing out on the New York
He's-
Jets. Oh, go ahead.
He's Senior personnel / coaching executive with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, and they're god awful. So
Say that title one more time.
Senior personnel / coaching executive.
So he's in charge of coaching. It sounds like.
Yeah, I guess.
to some degree. So the guy
mean,
who
hey.
let Jim Caldwell go and hired Matt Patricia is leading their coaching tribulations.
Have you
Well,
guys
he
seen,
worked. He
have you
works
seen Matt
under-
Patricia lately?
Yeah,
He lost some weight. He looks different.
Yeah.
Just a little sidebar.
went to the national champions.
Yeah,
But going
yeah.
back, when I said good for Notre Dame, who thought they'd be in the national championship with their coach, that program? That's great for them. An independent school that's never had the chance to bang with the big boys. I think they weren't a total embarrassment. That second half of that championship game
Mhm.
was really good for them. If it had just gone like the first half, it would have been bad. But I think that's a program that's on the up in a serious way, especially if
It's-
they're touching into Lions personnel, who we all know are the league's best.
That's right. And
There you
it's
go,
it's
Ryan.
good for
That's a good
it's good for
segue.
college football when Notre Dame's good too. So
Agreed.
all right, lastly, what I was getting to before, the Jets broke up with A-Rod. It's official. Aaron
Mhm.
Glenn does not know who his quarterback is going to be next year
Rough.
as of yet. Yeah, that's a
Rough.
rough. But in some ways that does make Aaron Glenn's job easier. I think like it takes
Nope.
no,
Not at all.
like in terms of perception. Hear me out. If you go into it with A-Rod again, and it's that dumpster fire again. He's gonna get a lot of blame for that. That is completely unwarranted, depending on how it goes. But now you can kind of say, look, I'm starting over. Let me find my quarterback. Let me get it together. I think it gives him some leeway.
Here's your analogy about leeway. You tell me, Sal, I want you to run the Boston Marathon. Now, I know, Sal, I don't expect you to have a great record time, and you're going to have some leeway as long as you finish or do a decent job. Even if Aaron Glenn does his best, it's going to be miserable for him. That whole experience between having a, do we swear on this podcast?
You can.
Yeah.
Between having a shitty season, having to deal with the media in New York, he's not going to enjoy it at all. So even if he has that leeway and he's not getting fired, all you're telling me is he has continual, what's the best word for this? He's just going to have a terrible time for however many years they let it happen. So, no, leeway's not good in this case. They should have some mercy and cut him after the first season. But good for him for getting rid of A-Rod, because that was a disaster.
There's
from
no
start
way
to
he's only
finish.
getting one season.
How? I'm going to cut you guys off here. How is that a disaster?
How is it not? Signing
He
a
had-
quarterback that's old, that missed 2 seasons,
He didn't miss
essentially.
two. He missed one. And last year he had 28 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Wait,
he
you're
was one of
asking-
the top-rated quarterbacks in football.
I don't give a damn what his stats were last year.
So what-
It was
so what
a
don't you-
disaster.
Because of him?
He's one of the reasons, yes.
So was it a disaster for Joe Burrow and Cincy?
Did Aaron Rodgers play well last year?
I think 28 touchdowns and 11 picks is playing
Ryan, let me
damn
ask
well.
you a question. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers throw 28 touchdowns and 11 picks, or would you rather have had just one terrible season with no name quarterback
Honestly.
and had a chance at Jaden Daniels or Drake
You
May
know what
or
makes-
somebody?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what makes this tenure a disaster is that the Jets were fully convinced they were winning the Super Bowl when they picked him up, as were many dumbass sports writers out there. And he walks out waving that American flag. His season ends after one drive. We get that, right? Not his fault.
You can't.
Not his fault, right? He came back. Guess what? It was an even bigger disaster this year because now you're healthy and now there is no excuse and your team sucked.
They
and
lost
yeah,
the
it
bad
was partially
teams.
his fault.
They
Yeah, of
lost the
course.
bad
And
teams.
they
They had
couldn't
bad
move.
losses.
I don't care what empty stats you put in front of me that said, "Oh, he had 28 touchdowns." I don't care. They couldn't move the ball.
And Mito's saying it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. You know who also believes that? Aaron Rodgers. If he overthrew somebody, he's going to give him that, you should have ran that way. If he gets sacked, he's going to look at his lineman and be like, why'd you only block for 3 seconds? You know? It's never his fault. It's never his fault.
So you think Aaron Rodgers' career is done?
Should be. He's only in the
No,
league so he can
I'm
catch up to
asking-
Brett Favre. That's it.
I'm asking you, what does he
Yeah.
have to catch up to Brett Favre with?
Touchdowns. He's like, 9 away or some shit? Trust me. He's very pitiful, bro. That's all he wants.
The only saving grace Aaron Rodgers has, and I hate to say it, but it's the Minnesota Vikings. You have a team that's ready to win. You have
Oh,
good
yeah,
weapons.
baby.
You have a good coach. You have a good defense. If you're truly still have something in the tank and you still think you're good, go the Brett Favre route. Packers, Jets, now the Vikings, and go
Reunite
do
with
something.
Aaron Jones?
And go do something. And yep, Aaron Jones is there. And go do something that Brett Favre couldn't, and take the Vikings to the Super Bowl. Go prove yourself.
Minnesota will never do that.
Why not?
They have too much invested.
That's
With
true.
who? JJ?
JJ, yeah.
Correct.
So what?
And they-
JJ sits another year. He was hurt anyway. Red shirt.
It doesn't matter. You can't redshirt a guy 2 years after you gave up a first round pick for him.
You can because he had
can't.
limited playing experience anyway. Why not sit behind one of the best quarterbacks ever? You're not going to plug him in this year, bro. They have Super Bowl hopes. And they still don't know if they're
So-
signing Darnold or not, for goodness sake. Like, come on, be real.
Where's
they
A-Rod
have
going if it's not the Vikings? Where do we
Pittsburgh.
see that happening?
Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
He's so lame.
Mike Tomlin
I don't
loves
know.
A-Rod. He loves A-Rod.
Is he an upgrade from Russ?
Correct.
Is he?
Yes. A-Rod is still a top 10 quarterback, bro.
Oh my God, bro. There's
Yeah.
no way.
man.
You just said he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. I did. sure
He's
did.
I
Murat,
don't
Drake
think he's
May or
that
A-Rod next year, I swear to God.
Aaron Rodgers. He had a better
I'm
year
taking
than
Drake May 1,000,000%.
Hold on.
It's a big number.
Hold on.
1 million.
So Drake May is allowed to have the worst record in football. But Aaron Rodgers has 28-11.
Yeah.
He has a better record.
Who's
and
Drake May's receiver, Moran? Did he have Garrett Wilson and Devontae, or did he have what's his
Sorry.
face? Jalen Polk.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll take Drake May. Thanks. You put him
Okay.
on the Jets, I guarantee they win 3 more games. Guaranteed.
I love how that's an excuse.
Bro, A-Rod's not
Love
good
it.
anymore. He doesn't have it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You shit on
All right,
us for
that's
10
fine.
years. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Now get out. There's the door.
I'm not defending A-Rod, but to say he doesn't have it anymore is fucking wild.
No, and he's just an asshole. I don't root for him.
That's the main reason you talk about him. Though.
No, I don't. I truly don't think he has it.
Because it's 2025 and people don't like when people speak out of turn.
Bro,
all it is.
watching okay.
And that's the fourth
That's
political
really
reference.
not it at all. I think he was smug before all that stuff came out, and he's always been an asshole, but whatever. Watching New York and that whole thing go up in flames was beautiful.
Hey, maybe you think it was Robert Saleh?
No.
Oh, what happened after he got fired? Did it get better?
Did Robert Saleh get another head coaching job?
He got
Oh,
another coordinator job. What does that matter?
I mean, the team that fired him wanted him back, so if they thought he did a bad job, they would have high-fived and said, great fire.
Right.
But instead, they didn't high-five. They low-fived, and they said, let's get a great hire back.
Right.
They brought him back. We're going to bring him back. Did they sign him yet or no?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Anything else for the good of the group before we get out of here?
Just want to thank Sal for coming on short notice.
Yeah.
You're absolutely welcome, Ryan.
Oh, thank you.
Wait,
Thanks
I
for
want
blessing us with your
to
presence.
put some sort of prediction on record before we go. Ryan, Lions record next year. Let's hear it.
13-4.
Mito, Lions record next year. Is it still
As of
6
February-
11?
As of February 18th, 2025, I bet you whatever you want, they will not win 13 games.
Would be great if that was my question. I want your prediction for their actual record.
They're winning. They're going 9-8.
Oh, he said 6-11 earlier. I thought he was going to double down on
No,
that bullshit.
No, they'll go 9-8.
9-8.
Mito for the record. Packers next year. What is their record?
We are going 12-5.
Ryan for the record. Packers record next year.
I'll give All right, don't be biased. Take a step back. I'll give him like 10-7.
Okay.
And this and for the record, this can all change when we go ahead and get Myles Garrett.
See, you hear the backup right there? The fence riding?
No, because if we get Myles Garrett, our record's going to be better.
You're not getting Myles Garrett. I wouldn't hold your breath.
We're gonna make a splash like I predicted last year with Josh Jacobs. I'll have a prediction here soon for that.
All right.
And Mito, for the viewers at home, who's one player to look out for? Who would you say is going to be the most improved defensive player on the Packers?
We already talked about this. Edrin Ray Lewis Cooper.
Sticking with it, okay? And Ryan, same question. Lions defense, who would you say is going to be the most improved player through next year?
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to be
Ooh.
brave.
Ooh,
It's going to be Terry and Arnold.
Wow. Okay.
So cornerback's a tough position to adjust to. We all
It's
know.
tough
Rookie
when you're
year.
young,
We often
yeah.
see a first year to second year jump. We'll get more into this in the offseason. But I think he has all the tools, bro. I think he's just got to not be so handsy and just relax a little bit. And I think
gonna
he's
say-
learning.
I was gonna say he's holding on to that
He's holding on.
cornerback spot. To that cornerback spot.
Okay.
If you catch
All
my
right,
drift.
Good one. Yeah, good one. I wish he'd hold on to that guardrail for his stairs, but before he breaks his tailbone.
Sal, I'll ask you the same question. What are the records for the Packers and Lions?
I can do that question for you. I think that the Lions are going to be at right around 11. I think there's going to be some slight regression, especially with losing your OC. I would expect them to win in the second half more than the first.
Hey, you know what I love? And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It's so crazy to me how much Lions fans blew Ben Johnson. And now because when you said, because losing their OC, Ryan's like, Ryan, stop.
What?
I'm sorry.
What? I mean,
For the
big
people
deal.
listening, what can you describe what the facial reaction was?
Yeah, he did an eye roll, and now all of a sudden Ben Johnson's not all that. Like, grow up.
Yeah. Do I think our talented
Grow up.
offense goes to shit because and
Grow
I know
up.
that's not what Sal said, but a 4-game regression? I don't know. I'd be surprised.
All right, go ahead, Sal.
I have a problem with the Packers because I don't know who they're adding. If we took the same team for the most part, this is a 9-win team at best again. simply
Sure,
because
again, we didn't win 9 games this year.
I'm saying there's going to be a nine. You won more.
Yeah.
They won 11, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that if you brought the same team back, it's going to be a nine win team. The reason being,
why would we lose 2 games?
well, I'm so glad you asked. If you let me finish, Mister cuts me off. The reason being is, I think the Bears are going to give this division a little bit harder of a time.
Oh my God, bro! Not
I do.
again.
I
Not
do.
again, bro.
I do.
Every
Well,
year. Hey, listen, the offseason just started.
I coined that.
Coined what?
The
I'm not
off-season
familiar.
champs, the Chicago Bears.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Listen, you got Caleb should be better. The OC should help. The team should be better, and I don't think the Bears were on paper bad, but in reality they were pretty hard to watch. Couldn't move the ball anywhere. So
Sure.
I think moving the ball is going to help the defense. And I haven't had the defense on the field nonstop. So 9 for the Packers, 11 for the Lions.
Okay, since you mentioned the Bears, before we go real quick,
Sure.
what's the Bears' record?
You're not going to want to hear this.
No, I do.
Undefeated.
Be real, Sal.
And then you wake
Yeah,
up.
they're going to be right around 9 as well.
Okay.
I think the Vikings are going to be the worst team in the division next year.
Okay, so Lions win the division with 12.
They do 11.
Okay. Oh, 11. Sorry. Okay.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what a downgrade for the NFC North. The shit.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's what
All right.
happens.
Well, Sal has spoken. Thanks for gracing us with your presence once again. And Mito, anything else?
You know, it's time.
Yeah, I don't really want to cut
Oh
you
my
off,
God,
Mito,
bro.
but I just have to say that you're wearing a hat and Ryan's wearing a hat and I don't have the hat. I'm the only hatless guy on this podcast. Continue.
All right, listen, for anyone listening on Spotify, please go check us out on YouTube. You can see our beautiful hat-covered heads on there, not Sal. And it's always a different experience on video, so make sure you subscribe to that. We really appreciate it. And Mito, go ahead. Last word.
I was just gonna say thank you guys for being here, but I was so rudely interrupted.
For sure. Well, takes one to know one.
It was fun, boys. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for joining
Thank you
us,
for
Sal.
joining us.
And as always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue and your head stay cheesy. Take care.